Hey everyone, welcome to Political Science 102, also known as American Government. My name is Rick Epps, and I'm your professor for this semester. First, I want to welcome you to the class, and here today I'm going to tell you a little bit about the class and just share with you some information to get you started. And I'm sure I look forward to having many more interactions with you throughout the semester, and looking forward to hopefully getting to know some of you throughout it. First, I want to share with you just a little bit about myself. I'm a native San Diegan, born and raised, and spent a lot of time overseas and did a lot of traveling, and spent time in the Middle East, which is my direct area of expertise and field specialization. I've taught at a lot of schools, including UCLA, which is where I did my undergrad and my graduate work, played football. Yep, go Bruins. I have also taught at UCSD for many years and taught at Oxford in England and several community colleges in San Diego, along with San Diego State, where I've taught for the past 2 decades. I have a real commitment and interest in helping to educate and enlighten students, and I take that very seriously. But I like to do it in a fun and engaging way. So get ready for some controversy and to be challenged. One of the toughest things you have to do as students, as we get older, we think we know what we know, including me, is to take the lid off the top of your head and take in new information. Sometimes that's a real struggle for us because we grew up learning a little bit about the world and what we think we know, and sometimes it's true and sometimes it's not. But then taking in new information when you have to confront the realities of what you thought was true, and then confronting it and changing your ideas based on new information becomes very difficult for a lot of people. But it's also an essential part of what we have to do as citizens, because the world is constantly changing, and if we're not changing with it, then that's a problem. You get stuck looking backwards when the world is moving this way. So we don't want to be in that position, right? But in this class, we're going to learn about a lot of things. We'll start off learning about just the basic understanding of what democracy is, what it means to be a democracy. We'll learn about what it means to be a democracy in America. There's different types of democracies all over the world, so we're going to talk about particularly this one, but we'll also compare it to some other ones as well, because democracy is always changing, and if we ever get to a point where we stop realizing that, then we've already made a huge mistake that is going to lead us down a path to make bad decisions in our policy making. Because you have to confront the truth about which direction you're heading, and the fact that you need people who have vision, who can confront and look to the future. We'll also look at the historical context of our country, the founding. We'll look at what the founders did, what the founders didn't do. We'll look at what their plan was for the Constitution. We'll look at the role of how it formed the creation of the foundation of our government. We'll look at what federalism is. We'll cover some controversial things looking at civil liberties and civil rights. I have a lot of videos to share with you, so you'll get a chance to be engaged with a lot of controversial things. I like to show some for most of the chapters that we have in the book, because it helps you connect the dots from the conceptual aspects in the textbook to the realities of things that have happened in our human existence over the last 250 years. And I think that's an important concept. So make sure you do look at the videos, and I will probably have you throughout the class at some points critiquing them, sometimes with like a one paragraph sort of view of what you thought of the video. And then also we'll look at things like the structure of our country within the executive, legislative, and judicial branches, the Congress, what the Congress is, what the Office of the Presidency does, what the Judiciary Branch does, what the Supreme Court, how they operate, how they have checks and balances to make sure that one cannot take power more than another, so we don't have a dictatorship of some sort that evolves into our country. We'll talk about the role of the media, the role of public opinion, political parties and interest groups, how elections are happened. We'll talk about American domestic and foreign policy and how they either work or don't work, and the consequences of those actions, and sometimes the unintended consequences of those actions. And we'll look at all this through a very wide, broad lens. Again, as I said before, I'd like to have a lot of controversial issues. We'll have some interesting discussions. I'll have you discuss them with your classmates, some of these issues, and sharing some and doing some co-work together to provide information. And then we'll hopefully at the end of this you'll walk away with a basic understanding and knowledge of how our system works, and hopefully with recognizing your role in it, because democracy doesn't work without the citizens. And if we, the citizens, don't do our job, then we might as well put a crown on the guy's head and call him a king. And I really don't want to see that. Actually, I think it's time for us to have a woman be president too, or somebody else who's not the typical person. So I don't know. We'll see how we get there. But it's also incumbent upon us to recognize our role in that, because it doesn't happen without us. So welcome to your semester. Look forward to engaging all of you and to getting to know you. Let's have some fun.